And in the Impact segment tonight, brand new Gallup polls, both good news and bad news for President Obama. On Egypt, 47% of the folks approve of the president's handling, 32% disapprove. On Afghanistan, 47% approve, 46% disapprove, dead heat. Taxes, 42% approve, 54% disapprove. On the deficit, just 27% approve of the president's handling of it, whopping 68% disapprove. Joining us now in West Palm Beach, Florida, Dick Morris, author of the upcoming book Revolt. You'll see it March 1st everywhere. Okay, Morris, what do you make of this poll?
Well, the data I like the most about that poll is the next line in that, which is when they asked approval of his handling of the economy, which has got to be the key issue on everybody's mind. He had 30% approval and 62% disapproval. When you look, his overall job approval is between 47 and 50. But you'll notice every single issue, his approval is below that. Even the ones he wins, Afghanistan and Egypt, it's a scotch below that. Taxes are much below it, and economy and deficit are way below it. That means it's going to trend down.
Okay, but why?
Let's
start with why, if that's true, and it seems to be according to Gallup, his approval rating is higher than his individual performance rating.
Well, I think that what's going on is that Obama is moving into a new political dimension where he's coming across as a nice guy, a reasonable guy, but not an effective president. And what's happening is that more and more people are following what he came across in your interview. Most people watching that interview would say, I like the guy, but I don't agree with him. I think he's a good guy, but I don't think he's right. And ultimately, voters vote on issues. They don't vote on with an incumbent president on this kind of personal whim. When Michelle Obama put out today that he quit smoking and doesn't dye his hair, those kinds of things can help your ratings as a person, but not as a president. It's a key point that I'm making all the time, and I make it in the opening pages of Revolt. You can't run against Obama the man. He's going to win that every time. We admire him as a man. It's as the president that you need to run against.
Well, you have to run against him as a problem
disagreeing with him on issues, and that's what Republicans have to do.
Did the president make any mistakes as far as tactics, political tactics, in the interview? Did he make any mistakes?
I don't think he made any mistakes in that sense, but I do believe that he's making any tactical mistakes, any verbal gaffes. But I think he's making a great big mistake when he goes around telling everyone the recession's over, as he implied on the interview, that we've turned the corner, that we, State of the Union, he said, we've broken the back of the recession. When you do that, it gives a little bit of optimism in the economy, but it gives people this feeling that he's just totally out of touch. I mean, when you look at it, Bill, he's had two huge successes as president. One is he's cut unemployment by turning 1 million people out of the labor force so they stop looking for jobs. And secondly, he's cut illegal immigration because there are no jobs here for them to get. But the point is that he's not, that when he says that things are good, the recession is over, where good times are coming, he sounds a lot like Herbert Hoover in 1930.
I thought he made one major mistake, and it'd be interesting to see if the folks agree with me on this, the Muslim Brotherhood question.
Right.
He didn't.
Well, you handled that very well.
Thank you. I appreciate
When you came back after his answer,
right,
and you said those are tough boys, I wouldn't want them anywhere near a government.
And I'm glad you picked up on that.
80% of the country agreed with you.
I'm glad you picked up on that, and that was a very. That's why we hire you, Morris, because that's a very smart thing. The president wouldn't basically define how he sees the Muslim Brotherhood. He would not do it. He said there are strains of anti-Americanism in it, but that sounds like MSNBC. There are strains of anti-Americanism over there, okay? So,
sure.
You know, what are they? But these are really, really, the Muslim Brotherhood, vicious, right, dangerous people. And I felt that rather than call the president a pinhead, which is what some far-right people wanted me to do, oh, yeah, come on, you don't know the danger there? What's the matter with you? I would just say, well, they're pretty tough boys. I wouldn't want them anywhere near the government. That's just a statement that I make. Doesn't impugn his opinion. But I thought that was a mistake. I thought that Muslim Brotherhood question, he needed to engage on that because Egypt is obviously a big deal right now.
Well, this whole Egyptian policy, I believe, is headed toward a catastrophe. because I think that what's going to happen is that eventually Mubarak will have to go, Suleiman won't satisfy them, and I think the Muslim Brotherhood's going to take over. And unless Barack Obama lays out a predicate of warning against the Muslim Brotherhood
Right.
and attacking them and criticizing them and warning Egypt not to fall prey to them, when they do, he's going to look like Jimmy Carter
Well,
creating
that's
Iran.
huge. I mean, that is absolutely huge, and I think that the
It's so
president
funny,
has
this
to
guy
engage.
could lose office over foreign policy.
Yeah,
in
anything could
a
happen in the next 2
strange way.
years. All right, Dick Morris, everybody. You can
Yeah.
check his book out now if you want to on Amazon and dickmorris.com. Directly ahead, foreign